The plot to kill Jesus, Mark 14, 1-2, Luke 22, 1-2, John 11:45, 57, 1. And it was when Jesus finished all the words, he said to his disciples, 2. Ye know that after 2 days is the Passover, and the Son of Man shall be delivered to be crucified. 3. Then were gathered together the chief priests and scribes, and the more ancient of the people, into the courtyard of the chief priest, called Caiaphas. 4. And they counseled together that they might obtain Jesus by stratagem, and might kill. 5. And they said, Not in the festival, lest there should be an uproar among the people. Jesus anointed at Bethany, Mark 14:3-9, Luke 7:36-50, John 12:1-8, 6. And Jesus, having been in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leprous, 7, there came to him a woman having an alabaster box of costly perfumed ointment, and she poured upon the head of him, reclining at table. 8. And his disciples, seeing, felt pain, saying, For what this loss? 9. For this perfumed oil could have been sold for much, and have been given to the poor. 10. And Jesus, having known, said to them, Why offer ye toils to the woman? For a good work has she worked upon me. 11. For always the poor ye have with you, but me ye have not always. 12. For she, casting this perfumed oil upon my body, did to prepare me for interment. 13. Truly I say to you, wheresoever this good news be proclaimed in the whole world, shall it also be spoken what she did, for a remembrance of her. Judas agrees to betray Jesus, Mark 14:10-11, Luke 22:3-6. 14. Then one of the 12 having gone forth, he being called Judas Iscariot, to the chief priests, 15, said, What will ye give me? And I will deliver him to you. And they placed to him 30 silver coins. 16. And from then he sought opportunity, that he might deliver him. Preparing the Passover, Mark 14:12-16, Luke 22:7-13. 17. And in the first of the unleavened loaves, the disciples came to Jesus, saying to him, Where wilt thou we should prepare for thee to eat the Pascha? 18. And he said, Retire ye into the city to a certain person, and say to him, The teacher says, My time is near. With thee do I the Pascha with my disciples. 19. And the disciples did as Jesus commanded them, and they prepared the Passover. The Last Supper, Mark 14:17-26, Luke 22:14-23, 1 Corinthians 11:17-34, 20. And it being evening, he reclined at table with the 12, 21. And they eating, he said, Truly I say to you that one of you shall deliver me up. 22. And they being greatly grieved, began each of them to say to him, Far from it am I, O Lord. 23. And he having answered said, He having dipped with me the hand in the small dish, the same shall deliver me up. 24. Truly the Son of Man retires, as has been written concerning him. And woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is delivered up. It was good for him if that man had not been born. 25. And Judas, delivering him up, having answered, said, Far from it am I, Rabbi. He said to him, Thou hast said. 26. And they eating, Jesus, having taken the bread and praised, brake and gave to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. 27. And having taken the cup and given thanks, he gave to them, saying, Drink of it all ye. 28. For this is my blood, that of the new covenant, having been poured out for many, for the remission of sins. 29. And I say to you that I drink not from henceforth of this fruit of the vine, even till that day when I drink it new with you in the kingdom of my Father. 30. And having sung, they went forth to the Mount of Olives. Jesus predicts Peter's denial. Zechariah 13:7-9, Mark 14:27-31, Luke 22:31-38, John 13:36-38. 31. Then says Jesus to them, All ye shall be scandalized in me this night. For it has been written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered up and down. 32. And after I be raised, I will lead before you into Galilee. 33. And Peter, having answered, said to him, And if all men shall be scandalized in thee, I will never be scandalized. 34, Jesus says to him, Truly I say to thee, that in this night, before the cock utters a sound, thou shalt deny me thrice. 35, Peter says to him, Though it should be necessary for me to die with thee, I will not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Jesus prays at Gethsemane, Mark 14:32-42, Luke 22:39-46. 36, Then comes Jesus with them into the place called Gethsemane, and says to the disciples, Sit here till I, having gone, shall pray. 37, And having taken Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, he began to be grieved and to be dejected. 38, Then says he to them, My soul is sorely grieved even to death. Remain here and watch ye with me. 39, And having gone forward a little, he fell upon his face, praying and saying, My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass away from me, but not as I will, but as thou. 40, And he comes to his disciples and finds them sleeping and says to Peter, So were ye not able to watch with me 1 hour? 41, Watch and pray, lest ye come into temptation. Truly the spirit of a ready will, and the flesh weak. 42, Again of a second time, having gone away, he prayed, saying, My Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me except I drink it, let thy will be. 43, And having gone, he finds them again sleeping, for their eyes were loaded. 44, And having left them, having gone away again, he prayed of the 3rd time, speaking the same word. 45, Then comes he to his disciples and says to them, Sleep for the remaining time and take rest. Behold, the hour has drawn near, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of the sinful. 46, Be aroused, let us lead forth. Behold, he delivering me up has drawn near. The betrayal of Jesus, Mark 14:43-52, Luke 22:47-53, John 18:1-14, 47. And he yet speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great crowd, with swords and sticks, from the chief priests and the more ancient of the people. 48, And he delivering him up gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, the same is he. Hold him firmly. 49, And quickly having come to Jesus, he said, Hail, Rabbi, and kissed him. 50, And Jesus said to him, Friend, for what comest thou? Then having come near, they put hands upon Jesus and held him firmly. 51, And behold, one of them with Jesus, having stretched out the hand, pulled out his sword, having struck the chief priest's servant, took away his ear. 52, Then says Jesus to him, Turn back thy sword to its place, for all they having taken the sword shall perish by the sword. 53, Thinkest thou that I am not able to call to my Father for aid, and he will set before me more than 12 legions of messengers? 54, How then would the writings be filled up that so it must be? 55, In that hour Jesus said to the crowds, As against a robber came ye out with swords and sticks to take me. In the day I sat down with you teaching, and ye took not hold of me. 56, But this has been wholly that the writings of the prophets might be filled up. Then all the disciples, having left him, fled. Jesus before the Sanhedrin, Mark 14:53-65, Luke 22:66-71, John 18:19-24, 57. And they having held Jesus, brought to Caiaphas the chief priest, where the scribes and elders were gathered together. 58. And Peter followed him from far, even to the courtyard of the chief priest, and having entered within, he sat with the attendants to see the end. 59. And the chief priests and the elders and the whole council sought false testimony against Jesus, so that they might put him to death. 60. And they found not. And many false witnesses having come near, they found not. 61. And afterwards 2 false witnesses having come near said, This said, I can loosen the temple of God, and after 3 days build it. 62. And the chief priest having risen said to him, Answerest thou nothing? What do these witness against thee? 63. But Jesus was silent. And the chief priest having answered, said to him, I cause thee to swear by the living God that thou tell us, if thou art Christ, the Son of God. 64. And Jesus says to him, Thou hast said, But I say to you, from henceforth ye shall see the Son of Man, sitting from the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. 65. Then the chief priest tore his garments, saying that he blasphemed. What further need have we of witnesses? See, now ye have heard his blasphemy. 66. What seems to you? And they, having answered, said, He is liable to the penalty of death. 67. Then did they spit in his face and cuffed him and struck him with a rod. 68, saying, Prophesy to us, O Christ, who is he having struck thee? Peter denies Jesus. Mark 14, 66, 72. Luke 22, 54, 62. John 18, 15, 18. 69. And Peter sat without in the courtyard, and one young girl came to him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. 70. And he denied before all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. 71. And he, having gone out into the gate, another saw him, and she says to them there, This also was with Jesus the Nazarite. 72. And again he denied with an oath, that I know not the man. 73. And a little after, those standing, having come near, said to Peter, Truly thou also art of them, for also thy speech makes thee manifest. 74. Then began he to anathematize and to swear that I know not the man, and quickly the cock uttered a sound. 75. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, having said to him, that before the cock utter a sound, thou shalt deny me thrice. And having gone forth without, he wept bitterly.